Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone, wherever you're watching us from. How are you doing today?
Good evening, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's really nice to be back again with you this beautiful Friday. Wherever you are, it's evening here, 20 o'clock, Warsaw Central European Time.
Mhm.
Maybe it's morning where you are. Thank you for joining us. So let's see who is gonna be first to join us
Okay.
today. Who
Hi,
is
guys.
there?
Welcome here.
Yep. I
Remember when
hope.
you join us?
Yeah,
When you join us, please say where you're joining us from. Let us know where you're watching from.
yeah. I
That's
really
how
hope
we'll
we're
know
live.
that you're here.
Yep.
I think we
Okay.
are live.
Let's double check that just to be sure that
Guys,
we are.
when you come online, let us know that you're live.
Oh, yeah. Looks good.
Okay, we can see Isaac from Nigeria. Welcome here, Isaac.
Yeah. Hi, Isaac. Good to have you join us. Okay. So let's see who else is joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is coming up? All right. I think we need to wait a little bit to have more people um, join the broadcasts. All right. It's a beautiful Friday here. Yes, Yemi John is in. She says a big shout out from Abuja,
Hi,
Nigeria.
Yemi. Welcome
All right.
here.
Good to have you.
Yes, so as usual, please share on your status, share with the link, with this YouTube link everywhere
Yeah.
possible. We are going to do the same thing right now. We are
Okay.
going to do the same thing right now.
So let's share now.
Welcome here, guys. Let us know that you are you are watching us, and let's know where you're watching us from. Welcome here. It's a beautiful Friday evening.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful Friday evening. Yes.
All right, so I'm sharing. Let's just send the link to all our contacts.
Okay.
Let's share, let's share, let's share, let's share, let's share.
So you can just
All
copy
right.
the link from the group. If you are in the inner circle, you can just copy the link from
Yep.
there and put it on your WhatsApp status. Just
Mm-hmm.
invite someone. Make sure you invite someone.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Just share, 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 share. All
Yes.
right. Let's see. Okay, let me go back to the broadcast. Let me see who is in again.
Eh,
Okay, so Isaac and Yemi still on with us today. Who else is in?
So we're gonna be waiting for you.
Yeah.
Let's tell everyone we are live, we are here.
Okay. Great. All right.
Um, let's see. Okay, welcome. So as usual, we're gonna wait
Yeah.
for
A
some
couple of
minutes,
minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
a couple of minutes.
Usually, what we've noticed is that maybe because of the time or because of the you know busy week and all of that, sometimes a lot of people might not come online, but usually they
Mhm.
watch the replay.
Yes, we
Yeah.
know that some
So
of you watch the replay and some of you are going to watch the replay.
yeah.
Please let us know if you're watching the replay. Drop a comment for us and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Yes, that's how we'll know that you've been here. Drop a comment even if you're watching the replay.
Yep.
Let us know that you've been here, you've watched this, you've listened to this. Yeah.
All right.
So welcome
Great.
here, everyone. I'm
So
just
I
going to
think,
log on to the
yeah, okay, yeah,
questions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get started with the
Today
questions.
is the Q&A. Today is
Yeah.
the Q&A. And yes, today is the Q&A.
So the idea majorly is to focus on, answering some of the,
Some of your questions.
most common questions and
Yes,
even the difficult questions
yes.
about
Yes, yes,
relationship
yes.
and
So
things
some of
like
you
that.
have sent in questions, and Tribe Team have also prepared some real life questions they think that
Yeah,
it's necessary for us to answer. And so we're going to be doing that. And just to give you a tip of what next week will be, next Friday, we'll just be rounding off and we will be doing some couple games to
yeah,
get to know
yeah,
us, and you can also do it in your house with your spouse. Yes, so you get to know us. For example, who's the funniest? Who said I love you first? So we'll be doing all of that
yeah,
in the next week, and you can also do that at home. So we'll be giving you the format of the question, and you can do that. Yes, you can do that. So for today, we'll be answering questions. Some of them are really deep. Some of them are things that, you know, I'm sure you must have asked you or someone must have asked you before, and we'll just be looking at them. I'll just go log into it
yeah,
on my phone here so that we'll just go ahead and take. We might not be able to take all your questions or all the questions that Tribe team has prepared, but we will try to do some of it.
yeah.
Um, so, are you in? Are you in? Are you with us this evening?
Yep,
Can
yep,
we
yep,
go
yep, yep.
ahead? Welcome here, everybody. We see you. We see you. We see you. We can see you. So I'm just going to send it to you also.
Okay,
We're not
that's
going to
fine.
go through everything, but we're going to choose
Mhm.
what we will be answering. Okay. Share, share, share. Get in here and let's do this together. Welcome, welcome, guys. We
All
see
right, so
you.
we have ID Sammy also joining,
Hi.
and ID says, "Good evening, my bosses." Yeah,
ID, welcome here.
ID is the real boss.
ID,
Okay.
so good to see you here. Elizabeth, welcome here. Elizabeth, you were supposed to send me something. Okay. You can still do it.
Yeah,
All right. And Yemi, welcome. Okay, so let's just dive right into it. Who is ready?
right.
Are you ready?
I
Let's
hope
know
the
in the
questions
comment
are not so
section.
difficult.
Yeah, let's see. Are
Okay.
you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So, welcome here, everyone, again. And just to introduce ourselves again, of course, my name is Tolutola Omotosho. And
I am Tade Omotosho.
yeah, this is Dr. Tade Omotosho. And he's my sweetheart,
Yeah,
the honey in my tea,
yeah,
the lemon in my and everything. And as a couple, we've not always gotten it right. Of course, we make mistakes. Of
yeah.
course, we are still learning. Of course, we're still growing. But we think that there are a few things that we
Yeah.
can learn together. There are a
Mhm.
few mistakes we've made and we've
Yeah.
learned from. There are a few things that we can talk to you about and we can learn. You can also share with us. Remember, as always, this is a conversation. It's not a monologue.
Yeah.
So help us. Just keep dropping your comments
Yeah. Feel
in
free
the
to add to the conversation
yes
and be a part of the conversation.
conversation.
So
Add
drop
your
your
comments. Let
yeah.
us know what you're thinking about whatever it is. When there's a question, drop your own answer. What's your own opinion? We want to hear from you because all the time we'll be reading comments as much as we can
Mhm.
as well.
Yep.
Okay. So, sweetheart, I think
Mhm.
um, we should start with the one that concerns courtship or relationship,
Yeah.
and then we go into the one that that relates to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I would like to start with the one that says that, please give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay. So there is one here, and this is from a single person,
Yeah.
and they want to know, sweetheart,
Mm-hmm.
how long should courtship last? And when can I begin dating? Okay, so I'm going to say the question again.
Yeah.
How long should courtship last?
Yes.
And when can I begin dating? So I want to assume that this person is probably in their, I don't know,
Yeah.
20s, early 20s, and they want to know when it's right, or even it could be a teenager. Teenagers ask these questions as well. When is it right to start dating, and how long should courtship last?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sweetheart, do you want to start with
Well,
that?
yeah, I mean, I think that's a very common question that people would often ask. And my approach to it is to look at it from a very, I would say, comprehensive dimension. So, what I mean by that is, I think we need to first define what dating is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what context of, because now dating can mean many
Oh,
things
yes.
to different people.
Yes.
I think a couple of weeks ago we saw a 10, 11, 12-year old girl
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
has a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps they're dating. I mean,
Yes.
so in the context of, okay, this special person to me, I'm buying him a
Mm-hmm.
Valentine
Mm-hmm.
present, he's buying me a Valentine present.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally we're going out to buy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
shopping and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
the point is, what exactly is dating? If dating means having someone special to you that
Mm-hmm.
you can go out with, that you can, sort of spend time with and share moments together and all of that. And I think, in fact, in many cases, that's what it means. Someone special to you that you want to go out, with, right?
Yes.
So my approach is, until you're matured and you're ready for it, because there are certain things relationship will distract you
Hmm.
from. So, for example, we've talked about it, especially raising girls, and we've said that we want our kids to have friends,
Hmm.
not just one special friend when they are 12 or when they are 13 or 14 or 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, yeah, when they are above 18, they are free to say, okay, now I'm done with high school, because you don't want distraction while you're still at that early stage of your
Yes.
life. You
Yes.
want to really have a clear picture what you want to do with your life, and you want to do well in your high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I would just put an age to it, which I don't want to, I would say when you're mature, say 18, when you're done with high school, then you're ready for the world. Okay, you're an adult. That's the
Mm-hmm.
age of consent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
can now have one, if you so like it,
Special
one
person.
special person. But before that age, we've always said to our girls that have friends,
Mm-hmm.
have many friends,
Mm-hmm.
and don't be in a rush to get into a relationship, because there's
Mm-hmm.
still more
There's
to
still a lot
see.
of
There's
time.
still a lot of time. There's still more experience you're going to have. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my approach to that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to put an age to it,
Yeah.
like I said.
Yeah. I think
Um,
I like what you've said, sweetheart. And if you are watching and you have a teenager, or you are a teenager,
yeah,
or you're in your early teens, and you're asking this question, when should I start dating? Like sweetheart has said, I we think that you need to be matured, and it's logical that whatever you want to do, dating, especially in the world that we live in the context
hmm
that we put it now, it means that you have a
yeah,
special person, not just a few friends. You have
hmm
a special person, you're going out together, you're doing things together. So if you want to do that, make sure it's at a stage where you won't be distracted
yeah,
from what you're doing. You are able to manage your distractions.
hmm
So we're not saying this is the age limit,
yeah,
but we're
yeah,
also saying this is the age limit, which means you should be
hmm
an adult. You should be able to control your distractions. And in my opinion, in our opinion, we think that you should be an adult to
yeah,
be able to control your distractions. So when people say, oh, my child is dating at 12, okay, good for them. But you must, as a parent, be able to
yeah,
help them control that distraction because there is a lot they still need to do. So when you know that you're at that point where you can manage distractions, where you can manage love and schooling
And
and
heartbreak.
everything and heartbreaks. Oh, we've all been teenagers
Yeah.
before. You've all been in our early 20s. When you know you can manage all that, then you should. You can go into it. For example, for me, I had always told myself that I would only date in the sense of dating someone that I have a
Intend to.
prospect
Hmm.
of marrying. So
Having
for
a
me,
long-term relationship
yeah,
with.
yeah, or having a long term relationship, even if we won't marry. But my intention was always that this person, if I'm going to date you, then I intend to have something long term with you that might eventually lead to marriage. Okay, so that was my approach growing up. And so for me, that was not the age of 13, that was
Yeah.
not 14, that was not 15. It was until I was an adult, I started to think about such a thing. So you want to be able to do that. Now, the second part
Yeah.
that talks about how long should courtship be. Okay, so that you want to
Yeah, I
say
mean,
something?
again, oftentimes we're always tempted to ask questions
Mm-hmm.
that we want
Mm-hmm.
a definite
Answer to.
time or some sort of,
Mm-hmm.
answer or
Mm-hmm.
measurement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for me the question should be, how long do I need to at least know this person
Yeah.
I want to be with?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a question of how long, how well. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's a question of how long, but
Mm.
of course, it has to be reasonable. You
Yeah.
can't know someone, even if you spend 20, 30 years, you might not be able to know all there is
Mm-hmm.
to someone, right? But significantly, there is a level of knowing that you
Mm.
will know if you spend
Mm.
enough time with
Mm.
someone. So I don't
Mm.
think there is a definite answer as
Mm-hmm.
to how long a courtship should be before marriage, but it's reasonable that you know the person to a very large extent. At
Yeah.
least you have your I don't want to say wish list, right? But you have your the kind of things you want to see in that person, and that the kind of things you want in the person you want to get married to, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if it's 6 months and you've
Mm-hmm.
known the person enough,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead. If it's 1 year, if
Mm-hmm.
it's 2 years, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think there is a limit to how long it should be. When
Mm-hmm.
you think you're ready, it's a question of how well and how ready am I to get into this
Yeah. So
relationship.
guys, welcome here again. Ruth, we see
Yeah.
you. We see you, everyone joining us. Welcome here. Now, we want to hear from you. How long do you think courtship should last?
Hmm.
How long did your courtship last if you
Yeah.
are married? How long? Please write us in the comment section. We'll be reading your comments. How long did your courtship last? And how
Hmm.
long do you think
Yeah.
courtship should last?
Hmm.
Okay. So now I'm just going to add to what he has said. I share the same opinion. Just that, sweetheart, I also think that um, courtship shouldn't be very short. I
Yeah.
don't think that it should be like, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months. Somebody
Yeah.
might argue and say, oh, people who court for maybe even 2 years
Hmm.
still have problems, while those who didn't even court
Yeah.
at all just met each other and said, can we marry right
Hmm.
now? And they have a good life. Yes.
Yeah.
But that is like 1.0.1, and you don't know if you will be that statistics of
Yeah.
those that had it positively.
Hmm.
You need time. You need time for them to know you. You
Yeah.
need time for you to open up to them. You need time for them to open up to you. You need time for a lot of things. So in my opinion, it shouldn't be so short
Yeah.
because there is no time limit. You shouldn't say, okay, so we love each other, we really
Yeah.
love each other, so let's go. Remember we said last week, love alone is not
Enough.
enough. Love alone is not enough. So writers, how long do you think
Yeah.
courtship should last?
Yeah,
And
but what if they've been friends, or let's say what if they've known each other all their life, like perhaps we did, but not
mhm,
for, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've always known you, right? But we never
yeah,
had much contact, yeah.
exactly.
But I'm looking at a different picture of people who grew up together. Maybe they've
Mm-hmm,
been family friends and
mm-hmm,
things like that.
mm-hmm,
So they get into a courtship, and you're
mm-hmm.
saying that their courtship should not be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Of course, I know what you mean. I'm just saying that someone might be thinking and say, okay,
Yes.
I've known this person for so long. We lived together, we're family friends,
Yeah.
and now we're attracted to each
But
other.
you know that my argument will be
Mhm.
that you knew each other as
Yeah.
friends in
Okay.
a different context.
Hmm.
The context of marriage,
Yeah.
of a long time term commitment is
Hmm.
different.
Okay.
Who agrees with me? And if you disagree with me, let me know. Because
Yeah.
listen, I think that when you're talking about when we've been friends, if we've been friends for a long time,
Hmm.
that's a different ball game.
Yep.
When we now say, okay, we're going into
A
this love
relationship.
relationship, romance, and
Yeah.
all that,
Hmm.
it's a different ball game. You
Yeah.
don't know how the person will react in love, if I
Hmm.
can put that.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
don't know how it will turn out. You might be very good friends, but
Yeah.
not good lovers. Who
Okay.
agrees with me? You might be good friends,
Mm.
but not good partners. Hmm. You might even be best of friends, but when
Yeah.
emotions, and a lot of things come in, things might go soft
Hmm.
or it might improve. So you just want to give it time.
Yeah.
I always tell young people, give it time.
Hmm.
It doesn't even matter. Even if everything is rosy, everything looks bright and colorful, the
Yeah.
person says, let's go right now to
Hmm.
Paris and marry.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it. Just say, yes, I know we can do it right now. I know we love each other, but let's just give it time.
Hmm.
Time is just good. Nothing, I don't think if everything is rosy and everything is going well, then time shouldn't destroy it.
Mm.
So give it time. Somebody put in the comment section, give it time. Give it
Mm.
time, man.
Yeah.
Give it time. Yes. So that's my opinion. We want to read from you. We want to read from you.
Mm.
And we have a question here, and I think that we can take it second. Yes,
Mm.
because you put it on the live chat. We're going to give it priority. Okay.
Okay.
So ID is asking, can boyfriend and girlfriend relationship
Hmm.
be regarded as courtship, or courtship starts after the question, will you marry me? Now, I would like to answer
Yeah.
this. In my opinion, because we have different terminologies.
Hmm.
Different terminology. Somebody might call dating courtship, relationship is dating or something like that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
but I think courtship is different.
Okay.
I think that the time when courtship begins is when you've made intention known to
Okay.
each other that you want to marry them, that
Hmm.
this is for a long haul. We are not dating.
Yeah.
We are in this for the long haul. I think, in my
Mm.
opinion, that is when courtship starts.
Yeah, I think I,
What do
I
you think?
absolutely agree with that because when you say boyfriend, girlfriend, it's just friends.
Okay.
It might not have the intention, or you might not have the intention of spending the rest of your life
Mm-hmm.
together,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when we talk about courtship,
Mm-hmm.
so the idea is that you both have come together to agree
Mm-hmm.
to get married or to
Mm-hmm.
spend the rest of your lives together.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're having a boyfriend girlfriend thing, might not necessarily be because you might
Mm-hmm.
just be friends with benefits, but
Mm-hmm.
it might not be because you have the intention of getting married. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's obviously a
Yeah.
difference
There's a difference. There's a
to the
difference.
two. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so ID says, so our courtship was 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you, ID. Let us know how long you courted for. How long was your courtship if you're married? Uh, Give it time. Give it time, no matter how long. Even
Mhm.
if you've been dating before,
Yeah.
after you've said, I want to marry you, just give it a little more time. And even that time also helps you. It helps you plan your life
Yeah.
together.
Absolutely.
It helps you sync your resources,
Hmm.
your energy, your plans, and know exactly what you want to do. Yes, so that time of courtship is really
Yeah.
important. Another thing that you do during courtship is to get advice from people, from your mentors, speak to people, speak to their family members, know what's going on in their lives, get to meet their people, get to meet those who surround them, their friends, those who they're accountable to. That's what courtship is, you
Yeah, I
know.
mean, I think it's also that time when you basically plan your life.
Exactly.
It's a time where you are actually doing some serious stuff. You
Exactly.
know, you're trying to check your
Yeah.
compatibility.
Yeah.
You're trying to understand, each other's character, each
Mhm.
other's baggages,
Mhm.
and how to deal with them.
Mhm.
You're talking
Mhm.
about finance. You're talking about your
Mhm.
career.
Yes.
You're talking about where you want to live. You're
Yes.
talking about, having
Exactly.
children.
It's a
So
serious
basically, it's
time,
a time
basically.
where you're planning your life.
It's
And
a
I think
serious time.
during our relationship series and workshops, we've
Mhm.
often talked about how that you go from friendship,
Mhm.
right, to
Yeah.
relationship, and then we talk about going to courtship, and
Yeah.
then we talk about going into marriage,
So can
right?
you say that again, please?
So we talked about starting with friendship,
Friendship,
and then relationship,
relationship,
and then courtship,
and then courtship,
and then
and
marriage.
then
So we
marriage.
talk about the three ships before the
Mm.
marriage. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if
Yeah.
your ship will sail through those stages
Mm.
without drowning,
Mm.
then it would end up in marriage. And we've always said, a ship can sink even
Mm.
when it's in a courtship.
Yeah.
It's better to have that ship sink before it gets
So the
into
marriage.
marriage.
So the
Um,
three
three
ships
ships,
are
yeah.
pretty important. And I remember we gave
Mm-hmm,
a talk
mm-hmm.
at a
Yes,
singles conference,
yeah,
and we talked about these three ships. Let's share it with you again. Let me just
yeah,
emphasize it: the friendship, relationship, and courtship, like he has said. And we emphasize that don't jump any of the
yeah,
stages.
yeah,
When you jump any of those stages, there might be problems. Don't jump the friendship stage. It is one of the most important stages. So if you're listening and you're single, don't jump the friendship stage. If your partner, if that person who says I love you is trying to rush things, just tell them to calm down. Tell them to calm down.
yeah,
Friendship is important. And then the relationship stage. And then courtship. That's when you
mhm,
said, now I want to marry you, you want to
yeah,
marry me.
yeah,
And then you go on to plan your life. Another thing I would like to say to every single listening is that the time of courtship is not the time to start, doing things that are not relevant to your future. The time for courtship is the time to do important things. Like he said, to talk about your finance,
yeah,
your life together,
mhm,
your purpose
yeah,
together, your baggages, what's going on in your life, and everything. It is a very important stage, and
yeah.
so you can't miss any stage. Is somebody getting something from this series tonight? Is somebody getting something? Yes, yes. Keep sharing with us in the comment section. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ivy, again for that question. All right. So let's go ahead, sweetheart. I think we're going to just take a few more, and
Yeah.
let me see. Oh dear. Um, I'm going to do it from here. Okay. So let's go ahead and
Yeah.
okay. This is well. This is something that we've had to answer also before, and I think it's pretty important. And this is still about relationships.
Yeah.
And it says, is it wrong to date someone that is older than me as a man? Is it wrong for me to date, or to be in a relationship with someone that is older than me? And I would like to reverse that to say that
Mhm,
the woman is also asking, because we've had this question a lot of times.
yeah.
Is it, can I be in a relationship with someone, with a guy who is younger than me? What do you think about this question? And
Yeah.
sweetheart, would you like to start?
Well, again, so for me, I would say the common factor here, I think it's maturity and love, right? That the two have for each other. So I
Hmm,
don't think it's a question of age
hmm,
anymore. If you think that the age is a concern for you, then don't go into it. Especially if you feel that because you are older than the person, you might not, respect, him or her. then I think it's not worth getting into it if you think the age would be an issue for you. So I think for me, the main idea is if you both love each other and you're both mature in such a way
Mm,
that the older person would not feel okay, I'm the woman, I'm older.
mm,
It doesn't matter even if you're the man, or the man would feel okay, I'm the younger one, but yet I'm still the man, and I mean there should be some level of understanding, maturity, and ability to handle that difference. I don't think
mm.
age should be much of an issue if both of them are matured and have the mutual understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, sweetheart. I totally agree, but I would like to say that this is where self-awareness comes in. Self-awareness, we've been emphasizing this. Know thyself. Know
Mhm.
yourself
Yeah.
and what you can take, what you can do. Listen, when I was younger, I always knew that I couldn't date or I wouldn't be in a relationship or marry someone that was younger than me. Yet, when my friends asked for advice about such a thing, I would tell them, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I know myself, I won't do it. I won't do it for reasons I know.
Mhm.
Because I'm self-aware.
Yeah.
I know my personality. Okay, so
Mm.
I know that I don't want to do it
Mhm.
because it will take a lot from me.
Yeah.
Okay, so know yourself. Somebody write in the comment section, know yourself and
Mhm.
know what you can do. So don't say because my friend did
Yeah.
it, it worked out for them, then I can do it. Know yourself because are some of you as females, you have a strong personality.
Mm.
You are someone who is quite independent on your own, and everything. You need someone who is quite older than you so that there will be that sense of protection. There will be that sense of do you get what I'm saying? So some of you are like that. So know yourself and know that, okay, this is not for me. Or you can know that, okay, I'm going to be able to handle it.
Mm.
So we have different personalities, and that affects the way we react and relate and act, behave in life.
Mm.
So just know yourself and know what you can do. Don't say because my friend married someone who is
Yeah.
10 years younger than her, as a man that is 10 years younger than her, I can do it too. Just know yourself and know what you want, know what you can do, know what if you can work it out. And as for you, as the man, I think
Mhm.
it's the same thing that Doctor has said. Know that you are able to work it out.
Yeah.
You understand each other. You understand each other. You sync together. No one even knows or cares if you are older than them or
Mhm.
if you are younger than them.
Yeah.
Your marriage is beautiful. You are loving each other. You are respecting each other.
Mhm.
You are doing life together. Nobody would care any longer.
Yeah.
It's not about people. That's another thing I would like you to know. It's not about the society. Don't let the society box you. So if you
Mhm.
are someone, you're a guy, you have someone who is older than you, and you want to go into a relationship with, and both of you understand each other. You've
Yeah.
crossed all that hurdle, but you're thinking, oh, the society will say I'm this, I'm a weak man, I'm this, I'm that. Don't let the society box you because at the end of the day, it's not their life.
Mhm.
It's not what their life.
Yeah.
It is your life. It is yours to live and live it to the full.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty important. That's pretty important. Okay, so I can see more people joining in. Welcome, guys. And let us know you're here by dropping in
Yeah.
your comments. So we're going to take a few more. I hope you gained something from that.
Yeah, I mean, feel free, guys, to
Yeah,
also drop your thoughts.
drop your
Yeah,
thoughts.
let's
What do
know
you
what
think?
you think, yeah, about those
Yes,
questions. Yeah, you're
yes.
free to disagree. You're free to
Yes,
agree.
so that we're going to have
Just feel free and express
a
yourself. Yeah, we're all
conversation.
learning. It's a co-learning this evening. All
Yes,
right.
yes. Okay, so we're going to take another one. Now we're going to into marriage and things that affect us in marriage. And so this is one that we We've actually had a lovely discussion on it in the inner circle, and it says, should my spouse know my passwords to my phone, my bank account, my everything? Should my spouse know my password? Okay, should they know my password? And I'm gonna link it with another question that says that how much of my past, I know it's a different question, but I want us to be fast about it. How much of my past can I tell my spouse or my partner, and when? Okay, so we're going to talk about these two questions. So the first one is, should my spouse know my password? Okay, whatever password. And the second is, how much of my past can I tell my spouse or my partner? And when? These are very deep questions. These are very deep questions.
Yes.
Sweetheart, I would like to go with the first one first,
Okay.
okay? And so this is about, should my spouse know my password? And I remember when we were talking about this at the inner circle, it was a lovely discussion, and I was telling them that, guys, you don't even know if it's me or doctor talking to you, chatting you right now on my phone, because it can be any one of us. And they were like, wow, because that's it. So let me start from here. What are you hiding from your spouse? What are you hiding? Okay, someone asked that question on the inner circle, and we're all like, yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hiding, for goodness sake? This is your spouse. This is someone you said, I want to live my life with you. You've seen them in all of their everything. You've seen all of them. You've seen them in their weakness, in their strength, in everything. Then what are you hiding? So, except you have something to hide, I think that your spouse should be that person who knows everything about you, your password, your everything. Now, it's also very dangerous when your spouse doesn't know the password or the access to, for example, your bank account, your, what if something happens to you and he or she needs to be the one to access these things to get you out? Are you going to be saying that, okay, because I don't trust her, so I didn't give her the access or I didn't give him the access? Listen, you need to build trust. Please write that down. Build trust such that you won't have an issue not sharing your passwords, not sharing things that are important to each other. Password is what? So, locks on your phone, let them know how to unlock your phone so that if they need to, they can actually get access to your phone and do that. If they need to, they can access your bank account. If they need to, they can. So what you need to do, if that is not happening in your relationship, listen, don't beat yourself up. Don't say, wow, there's something wrong with us. You just need to communicate. Why are we not sharing our password? Because it could be that it has happened before, and you as the husband went to go and, you were in their business, and it made them angry, or you did something, you transferred all the cash, or something that made them not to trust you anymore, because trust is the most important thing. What happens is that the trust is limited. That's why you're hiding things from each other. Maybe they've done something in the past and you don't want it to repeat itself. So you are kind of hiding it. You as a man, you're like, I don't want to give her my password to my phone because she'll start searching all my messages. And then if she sees a co-worker sending me a message, she flares up and says it's a side chick or something. So you don't want that to happen. So you say, I'm not going to give her my password. My phone is my phone, and that's it. That might be your experience, and that might be why you're doing that. But we're saying today that communicate. Communicate. You've done this in the past, and that's why I'm not free to share my passwords and everything with you. And let her or him change. Let them see why you have to trust them so that you can trust them. The aim is to trust each other and be able to share everything, including your passwords. Because why not? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think again, of course, it depends on, like you said, don't beat yourself up over it. If
mhm,
that's the way
mhm,
things work in your relationship. Not
mhm,
every couple
Mm-hmm.
would have that freedom, or would have that would deny themselves of that privacy
Mm-hmm.
that some others want
Mm-hmm.
to,
Mm-hmm.
so in some cases maybe they just want that privacy, and I mean my phone is my phone. I don't want her to,
But
not
sweetheart, I
because
think that
not
they need
because
to
he or she
agree.
is hiding anything,
But I think
because
they
they
need to
both,
agree
no,
on
what I'm
that.
saying is they both might be comfortable with that,
That's what I'm
not
saying.
because they
That's
are
what I'm
hiding
saying.
anything from each
They, you
other.
need to agree to do
Exactly, that's
that.
my point. That's my point.
Yes, you
But
need to
because they
agree
just
to do that.
feel we don't have a problem with it,
Yeah,
he's okay with me
yeah.
having my phone to be
That's
mine.
true.
She's
That's
okay.
very
I'm okay
true.
with having her phone.
That's
So
very true.
people operate in different ways.
Yes,
They might be okay with it, and some do also operate different finances
yeah.
where they do not have a business, probably like
Mm-hmm.
maybe we have,
Mm-hmm.
and in many cases, many
Mm-hmm.
things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So they might just be okay. The wife works, she earns. The husband works, they earn. They both pay the bills. They might
Mm-hmm.
not need access to their bank accounts
Mm-hmm.
if that's the way they operate,
That's
and
true.
that's something they both agreed on,
So I
and they
think
are
the key
comfortable
word,
with it.
the
Yeah,
key word is what you've agreed to do,
and what works
what
for you.
works for
If it
you.
has
So it's
no,
not like I'm
yeah,
doing it and my spouse wants otherwise. I'm not
exactly,
sharing these
exactly, yeah.
things, my password, but my spouse wants me to do it.
Hmm.
And we're not sitting down to talk about it, then that's when you need to have a discussion. But
Yeah.
if you both agreed, come, I have
Hmm.
my things, you have your
Hmm.
things, I don't bother, I don't care, don't give me your password, I don't
Yeah.
want to have your password. We are cool with each other, and that's how we go.
Hmm.
Then here's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but we share a lot of things, and we think that it's pretty important to be able to share things together, because sometimes that's when issues come in. You don't even know what's going on in each other's lives. You don't know what's going on in each other's account. You don't know what to discuss. If, for example, you're able to balance it and you can discuss about it, you talk about it, and you don't need to share passwords. When they need to access something, they are able to through you and all that, and you're cool with
Yeah.
it, then that's okay. But if your spouse is not cool with that, make sure you have a discussion about it and you find a way to trust each other enough to be able to share your passwords and everything that you
Yeah, then
that you
I think the
can.
bottom line, like you said, is having that communication and that conversation to say,
Mm-hmm,
okay, these are my expectations. So
mm-hmm,
even if you have access to the other person's phone, the
mm-hmm,
person, okay, these are my expectations,
mm-hmm,
and if you don't,
mm-hmm,
depending on what the couples agree on, like you
mm-hmm,
rightly said,
mm-hmm,
they just need to communicate. So, for example, if there are things because in some cases, couples who don't talk
mm-hmm.
might have that issue, because you
Yeah,
might feel okay, there are things I don't know, so
yeah,
let me go through her phone or his
yeah,
phone to see what's
yeah.
going on or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the at the end of the day, the whole idea is, I mean, you are a team,
Communicate.
you are a team, communicate,
Be
talk
on the
about
same
everything,
page. Be
right?
on
Talk
the
about
same
everything,
page.
when the day ends, how your day
Yeah,
went, and things
yeah.
like that. And then it's easier. There won't be need to
Mm-hmm,
even
mm-hmm,
to even have access to the phone. Of course, if you have it, great. If you don't, yeah. But like you said, there has to just be that communication,
mm-hmm,
expectations,
mm-hmm,
and then mutual
mm-hmm.
satisfaction and
Agreement.
agreement as to how you want to deal with these things. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And the next is, how much of my past can
Okay. Yeah.
I can I disclose to my spouse or my partner, and when?
Hmm.
So this is a very deep question, and I think that it requires wisdom
Yeah. Wisdom, maturity.
and maturity. It
Hmm.
also requires you knowing your spouse
Yeah.
and their personality, you know, how they react to issues. Then it would help you know how to broach the issue, how to approach the issue you want to discuss with them. And this is you're going to learn a lot. That's why I said time. You need time to get to know each other, whether in courtship
Hmm.
and even till kingdom come. You are still learning to know each other. So learn to know how your spouse reacts to things, and then you will know how to approach the issue and when to approach the issue. I think that, like we said, trust is important in any relationship.
Mm.
And so you want your spouse to be able to trust you. So you put yourself, I always say that, put yourself in your spouse's shoes.
Yeah.
If you are keeping such an information from them, are you going to be, if they are keeping that information from you, are you going to be happy? I always say, this reminds me of another thing I always say, and you can put that down. If you are married to you, will you be happy?
Mhm.
Sometimes we need to think about these things. Sometimes you have to think and sit down and say, if I'm married to myself, will I be happy? So is this person that is my spouse happy with me, the way I am? So do I have to improve? Do I have to change some things? Okay, so let's go back to that.
Yeah.
If you are keeping those things and you know that if that is the role, if the roles are reversed, you won't be happy and it's not going to be fair on your part, then I think you should think about telling them. And it's not about rushing to tell them because, oh, I want them to know. Like I said, know how they react to things,
Mhm.
learn to approach issues, use wisdom. There are things that you need to, let me say, you need to call a village to tell them about.
Yeah.
I'm just exaggerating, but I know you know what I'm talking about. You need wisdom to
Mm.
approach it. It's not something you just say, oh, come, this happened to me 10 years ago. It might affect them in ways you do not expect.
Mhm.
So you need some level of caution, level of wisdom. You need to know which things to tell and at what time. So we don't know what you want to tell the person who has asked this question, what you want to tell your spouse. So we can't say now is the time, or in 2 years' time, or when you have a baby, or when you were courting, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah, well, I think I have a slightly different view to
mhm,
that. I think again, it depends on the subject we're
mhm,
talking about.
mhm,
As far as I'm concerned, I feel, if you, like you said, if you know who your spouse is
mhm,
and you know the gravity of what you really want to talk about,
mhm,
and you have an inclination that this
mhm,
might lead to other issues,
mhm,
especially again,
mhm,
hinging on the fact that you know
mhm.
the personality, the character, and
Yeah.
the kind of person your spouse is. There are some things just let it die. If you know that is not going to affect your marriage, it's in your past. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure he or she, whichever side, the person also is not a saint. But what I'm trying to say is that if you know this issue, bringing it can lead to a fresh wound and
Mm.
now begin to affect your. So maybe if
So
you,
I
like
think
you
it
said,
depends on
yeah,
what
it
it
depends
is.
on the issue. That's what I'm saying. So that's why again you said, it might require a village, which in fact it might
Mhm,
require,
mhm,
depending on how your family is set up, whether it's a religious setting, you
mhm,
bring in your,
mhm.
some spiritual
Because
person,
I
or it's
would
a
think that
family, So
you need to prepare
yeah,
for the consequences of some things
yeah.
that you need to tell your spouse to be, because some things you need
Yeah,
to
I mean,
tell your
this is before marriage. If you're
before
talking
or
about no, if
in
no, well,
marriage.
if it's
It
in
could be
marriage,
in
no, if
marriage.
it's before marriage, then I mean, you should be. Why did you wait till you get married before not talking about it?
So you're saying,
I assumed that it was in marriage you
so
were talking
you are
about.
saying that
Yeah,
we should reveal
you should.
everything
Yeah,
in
talk
your
about it.
past
Before you get
before you
married,
got
so that
married.
at the end of the day, if he wants to get married to you, he knows what he. I mean, he's
I
well. There
agree.
shouldn't be any issue of surprise or whatever.
I
But then
agree.
he already knows that okay, this happened in my past and it's
And
in my past,
decide, and
right?
your spouse will be
So
able to decide
yeah,
if they want to go ahead
absolutely,
with that marriage.
absolutely,
For
absolutely,
example, I've heard
absolutely.
stories these days that a man is saying that a woman is saying that they didn't know that
Yeah.
their husband had a child before
Hmm.
they got
Hmm.
married.
Hmm.
Who does that? Don't do it.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want your spouse to discover you had a child
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
and then they married you. You need to
Absolutely.
let them know almost everything about you.
Yeah.
Open
Absolutely.
up, except
Hmm.
things you've forgotten, because there are things that have happened to us in the past and we've forgotten. But as much as long
Especially
as
when a
it's
conversation gets to that
exactly,
point, because that's what courtship
yeah,
is about at the end of the
exactly,
day. to
Exactly.
discuss some of these things so that if the person knows he
Yes.
can't cope or she can't cope,
Yes.
everybody goes their separate ways
Exactly.
and
So
we
please
move on,
don't do it to
right?
people. If you're a single
Yeah,
person here, let the person you're in a relationship with, and that's when you said, okay, I want to marry you, you want to marry me. That's the period of courtship. Let them know everything about your past. Everything about your past. What happened to you in your father's house? What happened? The ones
especially
that
the
are
ones that are
important.
relevant, because people might be
Yes,
saying
that's
again, well,
true.
I've not married this person. Why should I be exposing all my life to? Do you understand? Yeah. So, but again, of course, you're doing it with good intentions, and
Yes,
it should be mutual, right? It's not
yes,
like one person is being secretive and then the other
yes,
person is being,
yes. I think
so
that being open
being
in
open.
life,
Yeah.
it helps you more. You know what? If you've opened up everything to them and they say, okay, I don't want to go ahead in this marriage, it is for your good. Because if they discover some of these things in marriage, it could lead to problems.
Yeah.
So just rejoice and say, thank you, Lord. I was plain with this person. I was honest. They didn't go ahead, but I was honest.
Yeah.
I did my part. So listen, I'm a very open person. I'm a very simple person. Just be honest about things. Like he said, things that are relevant to your relationship. Some things you might have forgotten. Some things is not relevant. But things that if he or she hears about it
Yeah.
after marriage, it will
Exactly.
damage your relationship.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
affects them. Some
Yeah.
people already know that some things happened to them in the past that won't allow them have children in this marriage,
Yeah.
or that have damaged something in their
Hmm.
reproductive part in their bodies,
Yeah.
and then they go into marriage without informing their partner. That's
Hmm.
not fair. Make
Hmm.
sure you open up all such things to your partner and let them know if they want to go ahead with this marriage or not. Give them a chance to decide. I always say that, in fact, if God has told you that you are going to be whatever it is, an evangelist, a missionary, please let your spouse know. And this is why courtship is important. Let your spouse know your
Yeah.
purpose or your potential purpose, where you might be heading
Yeah.
to, so that they decide for themselves. No, I don't want to marry a missionary,
Hmm.
or I want to marry this person. I don't care
Yeah.
about what your purpose is. Some people have told me, I know ladies who have said, I will never marry a pastor. And so when the person says, God is leading me to this, they just
Yeah.
remove themselves from the relationship. That's honesty. You know yourself, you know your partner, you're able to say if you want to come together or if you want to go your separate ways. As much as possible, be honest.
Hmm.
Be honest. You know those things in your heart of hearts.
Yeah.
We don't know it, but you know those things that are relevant in your relationship
Hmm.
that you're supposed to expose,
Yeah.
and those things that are not
And I
relevant.
think
So,
that's the most important point. The things
yes,
that are relevant, that
yes,
are implicative.
yes.
There are things that might have happened in the past, but they're not relevant to where
Mm-hmm,
you are today. It has
mm-hmm,
no bearing, no
mm-hmm,
consequence on
mm-hmm,
your life and your marriage, yeah, and
mm-hmm,
your relationship. So just
mm-hmm,
let it die. But
mm-hmm,
if you think there's something that should be discussed,
mm-hmm,
find a good time, pray. I mean, if you're a person of faith, yeah,
mm-hmm,
pray about it or speak to some mentor about it and
mm-hmm,
then discuss it, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's
Knowing fully
true.
well, of course, the other person's character. You even be surprised maybe the person has something worse
Yeah,
to share. Okay,
yeah.
there's a question quickly from Ruth here, and Ruth says, where is it again? Oh
Mm,
yeah, what's your opinion on cohabiting while courting or dating?
cohabiting.
Okay, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
cohabiting while courting or dating. Yeah. So
mm-hmm.
yes, do you have an opinion? I think mine is straightforward. Yeah, there are two ways I can answer you. I can answer you as an economist, and if I answer you as an economist, I'll say yes, it's very economical for economic reasons, right? We know what the situation is now. That's one answer. If I would answer you as a person of faith, on the other side, I would say, well, it's advised and encouraged not to.
He's laughing
So at
with
the end of
me.
the day, you can make your choice. But I've given you the two perspectives, right?
What do
Yeah.
you think, guys? What do you think about Ruth's question? This is interesting. I would like to hear from you because uh, there is there are situations where
Mhm.
I've seen,
Yeah.
we live in Europe, and we've seen many situations where even you look at it and you're like, this is just the best option.
Well, maybe yeah.
No,
I mean,
maybe not
that's
the best,
the
the most.
it's a difficult
It's a difficult
situation,
situation
right?
right now,
Yeah,
and this is the best they could do.
yeah, yeah.
But then there are always ways to these things. It
Mm.
depends on what you what how will I say it? How hard you want to push with the other options.
Yeah, but again, in many cases, like the example, um,
Mhm,
referring to in terms of economic reason, it's
mhm,
always not because they woke up one day
mhm,
and said, "Oh,
mhm,
let's start living together." No, it was
mm,
something. One thing led to the other.
mhm,
Maybe the rent was too expensive
mhm,
from one side, and
mhm,
then the idea was that we're getting married soon.
mm.
Let's
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 come
combine our
together.
resources together. Anyway,
Mm,
we're planning our wedding. It's in
mm,
3 months' time. It's in
mm,
4 months' time. It's in 5 months' time.
mm,
6 months' time. I mean,
mm,
it makes economic sense,
mm.
right? But then if you flip from the other side of it, it will be very difficult, right?
Yeah.
Just as the scripture says, to keep the bed undefiled
Yes.
when you're living together.
Together.
But if you are sure you can do that,
Mm.
I mean, at the end of the day,
So what is so
it's a
so
choice.
so what
Yeah,
is important to you? I would ask you that. What is
yeah.
important to you? Is it keeping the bed undefiled? Is it, till after marriage, or uh, surviving at that time?
Yeah,
And then you
because
know what your answer will be.
cohabiting means you're setting up yourself
Yes,
for,
yes,
perhaps what you don't want to
yes,
happen at the end of
yes.
the day.
That is
You know,
it. And
because
that's
that's
why,
where intimacy begins.
yes,
As long, I mean, the moment you start living together, you
then
would. It's going to be
intimacy
difficult
begins.
to avoid
It's
that. Yeah,
very difficult. Even when you're not living together,
together.
singles.
Yeah,
Singles, do you agree with me? Even
right.
living together or not, you're already attracted to each other. How
Hmm.
much more when you're in the same house
Yeah,
all day long? So if you want to be that person who says, I want to wait till after marriage,
yeah.
to have intimacy, then cohabiting is not something you want to do.
Hmm.
I'll say that categorically. If your value, if for you, not having intimacy before marriage is your goal, okay, because of your spiritual faith, because of your faith or
Yeah.
other things, then cohabiting is not what you
Yeah,
want
but
to
but
do.
to tell you just the fact and being practical and real with you, there would be occasions, there will be times when you definitely find yourself in a situation where you might have to. That's just the reality. Depending on where you live. Of course, like you said, you have to choose, you have to decide. It might
Yeah,
not be the best,
yeah,
but there might be practical situation
yeah, we're
where
just
you
being
will find
practical.
yourself in a
Yeah,
situation where maybe you don't live in the same city. For
yeah.
example, you come in and you need to pass the night or whatever. There might always be situations like
So
that.
we don't
But
want to
of
sound
course, you have
spooky
to,
or sound
yeah,
unrealistic.
you have
That's
to be
the
aware
truth.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you need to be aware. You need to be intentional and know what your goal is, and then be intentional
Hmm.
about it. So I'll just leave it at that. Yes, I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Okay, so there's one here also about joint account financing
Oh
for people
yes,
who are
there is
still courting.
also, yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
a question we
just
have here
quick
also.
one, quick one.
Okay.
I don't think if you are courting,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a need for a joint account.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not until you are married, not
Mm-hmm.
until you're one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you need to have a joint account while you're courting. Okay, when you get married, then you can bring your resources together. I mean, I think it's for me, I think it's logical that way. You're not
Uh,
married yet, yeah. Except if that is what you want to do and it works for you,
yes.
go ahead. But
Yes, I
I
agree.
mean, I think you should wait till you get married. Then you're one, right? You're
Yeah,
joined together.
that's
What
true.
belongs to you belongs to
To
her. What
me,
belongs to her,
yeah. I
belongs
think
to you.
marriage
So,
seals it up. But if you already know that
and you're
you are
sure about
courting
it. Yeah.
and you're sure, you already know we are planning our wedding, and in fact, putting our resources together is going to help us
Yeah. Why not?
with the planning, with the buying of things. Oh, then you've agreed and you already know how it's working for you. Then why not? Then why not? because it's just what you're doing is just extending what you're going to do in
Yeah.
marriage just some months or some years back, and you've already started to practice that. And there might even be benefits for that. You might already know who is the good spender, who is the not good spender, and be able to know how to control things. So yes, if that works for you, why not? But just make sure that you trust this person. This person is the person you are sure about
Yeah.
and that you really trust and that you want to go into marriage with. Yeah.
I'll
So,
just comment quickly on what Yemi
mhm,
says here.
mhm,
That the fear of singles is that if I tell him or her that much of my past, he or she might not go on with the relationship. Let me tell you what, if someone leaves you because you've told them the truth about your past, then they are
they are
not
not for you.
worth you. They are
Yes.
not worth you.
Yes.
Okay? They don't worth you.
And they are not for you.
Yeah. If someone would leave you because you've been honest
Mhm,
to them,
mhm.
you've told them the truth about your past, and then they left, then it means they are not worth you.
Yes.
It means they are not even the best
They are
for
not
you.
for you.
All right.
They are
So
not for
so
you.
so I know it can be hard,
Yeah.
right? It might be hard to
Yeah.
really imagine that
Yes.
situation. But I
It
tell
will
you,
hurt you
I mean,
because
yeah,
they've gone through all the sheets.
yeah,
And then to get to courtship, and then you try to reveal yourself to
yeah.
them and tell them everything, and then they say, no, I'm not going ahead. It will hurt you. You
Mhm.
will have to heal from that.
Yeah.
But just be thankful. In fact, be very thankful because it means they are not for you. What if they discovered in marriage? Imagine the
Exactly.
gravity. Imagine what it would
They
do.
would have roasted you.
Imagine how you will be dead.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just be thankful and say, and just say, this person was not for me. Thank God I was honest at this point, and that is it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna take the last and the last
Yeah. I
one,
mean, we
guys.
can do a few
The
minutes next
yeah,
week also.
yes. Maybe we can take a few more
Take a
next
few
week.
more questions
Yes, because
next
we
week.
have
Okay.
some really, really deep ones. And thank you guys for engaging. Still share the link with everyone and
Yeah.
still let's hear your comments about what we've been discussing. Okay, so I'm going to see which one we should end with. Okay.
Yeah. Which one?
Oh, just a moment. Okay, so let's talk about uh let's talk about this because it's also something that is
Yeah.
going to be divorce. Okay,
Okay.
so the question is divorce the best option in marriage that is filled with misunderstanding and fights? So this person wants to know if divorce is the best option in a marriage that is filled with misunderstanding and fights. Okay,
Yeah.
so my friend and I wrote a book, and it's called Save My Marriage. And in this book, we there were two chapters. One of the chapters says, I think it was something like, shut the door, shut the back door, or something. And it was something about don't throw divorce at every disagreement you have. I'm going to divorce you, I'm going to live here. Don't have that perspective. And the second, another chapter in that book also talked about leaving a situation that is going to harm you. So
Mm.
that sounds contradictory, right? But no, it doesn't. So I'm just going to say it here. Maybe Doctor has more to say. I'm just going to say that always remember that you have a purpose in life
Yeah.
and you were not just created to marry. It is not the biggest purpose of your life.
It's not an
It is
achievement.
not an achievement. And being a missus is not or not.
You don't get a medal for
Yes,
it, do
and
you?
it is not a mark of your success in life or
Yeah.
not. Never think like that. It is not. So when you are in harm's way and your life is in danger. Now, listen, I don't even mean just physically,
Mhm.
because when we talk about abuse in marriage, it's not just physical. In fact, the emotional one
Yeah.
or the mental one is the most is the worst.
Yeah.
So when you know and you are sure that my mental health, my life is in, and I'm not throwing mental health around like the woke generation of these days do. Every little thing, my mental health. No, that's not it. But when you know that your life is in danger, your life in different aspects is even in danger, please separate yourself from whoever it is that is causing it, even if it's your spouse. So, divorce or not, it is your option in that case. But make sure you are first separated from this danger and you save your life. And please don't say, for my kids, I'm staying. I know that it's your choice at the end of the day. So we talk to women and all that, but at last we say, listen, it's also your choice. Because some people tell you, some men or women will just tell you, I want to be here even if he kills me. Listen, the ball will now be in the person's court. But make sure that you are not that person who is advising men or women, stay there just because, and then endure it. Don't be that person until they kill, until you just hear. We've heard so many. I know you've heard so many statistics. Don't let them be statistics. Just tell them to separate themselves from this danger first. Now, to think about divorce is a different ball game. It will now require, okay, is the person able to mend the relationship? Are they able to, there is a that's a whole ball game. But then when there is harm in the marriage, the person needs to separate themselves. Cheating, perpetual cheating. And when we call someone a cheat, it's not one mistake, it's not 10 mistakes, it's not two mistakes. A cheat in marriage is both mentally on your self-esteem and everything, and even your health is at risk. So you need to separate yourself from that person until they decide to get help, because they might just need help. So that's that. Now, when it comes to divorce, it depends on the parties. It depends on the parties. That's just the truth. People work things out. People endure for a while. People's endurance level is different. People are able to work things out. People are not. So then it will depend on them, and it will depend on the gravity of what is happening in that marriage. But to talk about misunderstanding and fight, I think there are different ways to resolve issues with that. There are different ways to resolve issues. If it's misunderstanding and fight, we all have misunderstanding in our relationships, whether marriage, whether with spouses, whether with family members, and there is a way to resolve it. You can let things go, you can work on things, you can see a therapist, you can talk it out, you can, there are different ways. You can help them self-regulate. There are different ways you can help one another. The key to having that, to helping each other when there is a misunderstanding, is making sure that both of you are ready to compromise and to learn. Both of you are ready, because when one spouse is the one trying and the other one is not even ready to make effort, then it becomes abuse totally, because at the end of the day, one person is just frustrated and the other person keeps doing what they are doing over and over again. But if there are misunderstandings, why not? We resolve it, we talk about it, we come to a compromise, and we learn. We even, for us, when we have misunderstanding, what we've learned is that, and that's because both of us are ready to learn. We know this is us and we are not perfect. What we've discovered is that every time we have a misunderstanding, as long as both of us are ready to work on our own part, the part we are to blame, it helps us get better. We just get better. We move. It's like a moving to the next stage. Then we deal with another thing. Then we move.
The idea is you always have a conversation about what has happened.
Yes.
And then you agree and you say, okay, so this is why it happened. Oh,
Yes.
I misinterpreted the situation. Okay, I didn't get enough information. Or I was not patient
Just
enough.
enough.
Or
I
I was
spoke.
too quick to react.
Yeah,
You see,
I said the wrong
so it
words.
becomes a learning curve.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you've passed that stage now. Next time, you know what to avoid. You know how to avoid, those misunderstandings. So, like you said, misunderstanding would always happen.
Yes.
But I think, even socially speaking, in every tough marriage, difficult marriage, abusive marriage, there are many options,
Yes.
and divorce is one of them.
Yes.
It's in fact recommended, socially speaking, that it should be the last option. All right. So, which means that you would have tried and tried therapy, you would have tried
prayers, whatever,
psychology, pray,
from
whatever
wherever
options,
you are.
and
You
then
can pray for them. You don't
divorce
have to
now
divorce
becomes the
immediately.
last option.
Yes,
And of course, that's when it gets to a very
yes,
difficult time where the relationship is more, it's getting toxic,
mm,
where there is hatred, and
mm,
yeah. So
mm,
at that point, there can be, of course, separation, and
mm-hmm,
then divorce.
mm-hmm,
Divorce comes
mm-hmm,
later.
mm-hmm.
But of course, we don't wish any relationship
Yes,
gets to that stage, and
yes.
that's why
Seek
it's
help.
important that
Seek help.
people seek help, like you
Yes.
said, and also we I think as humans, as individuals, also we must come to a point where we ask ourselves, what do we really want?
Mm,
What do we really want? Yeah,
mm,
that goes a long way to help us deal with challenges and the things
mm,
around us. Yeah, and
mm.
then with some level of understanding,
Yes,
patience,
yes,
willingness to compromise,
yes,
character change,
yes,
change of perspective, and
yes,
even way of thinking.
yes,
All of these things can go a long way to mend
yes.
the broken link
Because,
in the
sweetheart, I've
relationship. Yeah.
learned, if there's one thing I've learned in marriage is that you can't just say, this is me and this is me.
Hmm.
You need to keep
Yeah.
growing. You need to keep changing. You
Hmm.
need to keep fine tuning yourself. You need to keep getting better. And it doesn't help you only in marriage when you
Yeah.
get better, it helps you in every area of your life.
Hmm.
You need to keep maturing. You need to keep, if you were that person when you were single, you couldn't take, when they talk to you one, two things, you already said 10 things. Sometimes when you get into marriage and you're growing and you're learning and you're having this misunderstanding and you're compromising, it helps you. You're growing. You just
Yeah.
notice that, you are that changed person. And when that is happening with both of you, then that is growth.
Hmm.
That is marriage.
Yeah.
That is a very healthy marriage, a very healthy and blissful marriage, because you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. When you have misunderstandings, you will settle. Even when it's hard, sometimes you still
Hmm.
come back to that stage when you know that this is my person, this is my
Yeah.
person, and I don't want to just keep the same mindset and say no, this is just me. I'm going to also compromise and work it out with
Hmm.
them. Yes, and you put your ego aside and you say,
Hmm.
this is, I'm not just going to do things because
Yeah.
it's just me. Yeah, so that's it, guys, that's it. And I think we've come to the end of this
Yeah.
Q&A
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Good.
Have you gotten something? Share with us. Have you been helped? Have you learned something?
Yeah.
Have you been reminded of something? Share with us in the comment section. We want to read from you. And
Hmm.
thank you again so much for joining us. It's been a wonderful
Yeah.
time.
Thank you, guys. Yeah,
We
it's been
had,
nice
yes, it's
having
been
you
really
join us
nice. And
this
keep
evening.
sharing with us. Maybe you watch this again and you want to share something with us.
Yeah, feel
Keep
free
sharing.
just drop your comments.
Yes.
Yeah,
If you're watching a replay of this, also
right.
drop your comments. All the questions we've answered, drop your own perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion
Yeah.
about this?
I mean, there are no right or wrongs. Yeah, it's
Let's
not
see.
like
We're
it's a
learning.
one-way traffic. Like it has
Maybe
to
you
be the
have a
way.
better idea. Share with
Yeah.
us and let us know if what we've said resonates with you
Mm-hmm.
and what we've learned
Yep.
from us this night. And so we will see you in the last series, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
next
gonna be
week,
next week
Friday.
Friday,
Don't miss it. Don't
same
miss
time.
it.
Yeah.
Same time. Don't miss it. We're going to be having fun to start with, and we're going to be teaching you some couple games also. We're going to be giving you some ideas to spice up your relationship,
Yeah.
your intimacy, and everything like that. So that's what's going to happen and even your relationship as a single person. Yes, you can spice it up so that it won't be boring. It won't be, you're just looking at each other's eyes. What to do when you're in a relationship? We're going to be
Yeah.
sharing a bit of all that as
Yes.
well, and then rounding up this series powerfully. All right, so it's time to go.
Yep.
Oh, Joseph is here.
Yeah,
Hi.
Joseph. Hi, Scotland. Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us,
Thank
everyone.
you for
We
joining
really
us.
appreciate your
Yes.
presence, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday. Friday next week, same time.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you
See you.
guys.
Thank you,
Good
everyone.
night.
Good
Have a
night.
lovely weekend.
Bye.